Morning. This is going to be a video review of the USP1 from Thinksound. I'm not entirely sure if the formal name is USP1 or if it's P1 made in the USA, but we'll sort that out eventually. It's Earbud, or actually in the more formal sense, it's the IEM, the ear canal earphone, and it's got these earpieces that have pewter metal. I think we got a pretty good focus on here, and then somewhere in here, see if we can see where it says. Right there, we have the Thinksound logo on the earpiece right there, and then somewhere in here, it should say whether it's the left or right. Let's see if I can get to that. There we go. Yeah, see right there. We see the L. That means that's the left. And then I have, I guess, the standard earpiece on here. I mean the ear tip. It looks like silicone ear tips. Let's look at the rest of this thing. It has a, kind of what I think of one of the V-Mode is one of the companies that brought out this 45-degree angle plug, but Thinksound also uses that. And might have been somebody before that, don't really know. The plug, okay, that's a conventional plug. Tip ring sleeve. I don't see any special connectors for a mic, but I kind of wondered if maybe this doesn't have a mic. Okay, whatever. There's the little carry bag comes with it, and of course I use my own little pouch here. Carry the thing, and then here's the extra ear tips, and it looks like let's see, let's compare the size to the standard one that's on here, which fit me just right. Looks like we got one larger and one's just a hair smaller and the other one's kind of small. So I'm sure you got enough choice here where you can get a perfect fit. Not other ear tips are available, a lot of different types of ear tips. And but the ear tips are highly essential here for getting a good seal in the ear canal to get the proper response. If you don't have the right ear tip on there and you don't get a really good seal, then you might get something that's way too bright and loses bass. So you got to get a good seal that way. And what am I almost seeing on this? It has so much texture on these pewter casings around the earpieces that, well, you know, it almost looks like antique, some kind of antique thing. But that's pretty typical for pewter, I guess, to have that sort of thing. Here's a little logo on the cable, little junction thing at the Y there, and the cable itself looks pretty strong. It's what, about 1/8 of an inch thick, something like that. It looks very strong. The earpieces themselves, cable going to the earpieces, have a unusual kind of strain relief here, and so it's a very enhanced kind of strain relief there going into the earpiece, which probably makes it a lot more durable. I'm not going to stress it to the point where I'm going to, break it or anything like that. Although I imagine you could if you push it hard enough. But anyway, there's those. There's the earpieces, the earphone. Very conventional in terms of the overall design, and of course the sound is what you're paying for here. So, and this is the original box. This little, like, what do they call it? A little Altoids can or something. And then have the documentation on the inside, which tells you about how to listen, not hurt your ears, how to take care of this. Don't wrap the cable too tight where you're going to, eventually fracture the cable. And let's see what we have on the back right here. It says, voiced by Aaron Fournier, the CEO of this company. Compatible with iOS and Android, 45-degree whatever, 4 pairs of tips, and made in the USA entirely, as far as I know. So there we go. Nice little can. Again, depending on how you carry this stuff, one of the things that's really important with these is the clothing clips. And I think this one came with it. Maybe. I've got so many of these things from different people. But I'd recommend 2 clothing clips with these because if you get one in there, it'll probably work, but the cable can still move a little bit, so certain parts of the cable, and it can sometimes encroach on your sound. So I would suggest 2 of them, one to anchor the cable and then the other one to control the upper part so that you can move your head around without having the wires rub against your clothing or whatever. So clothing clips, very important. And the sound, I did a little preliminary EQ for my ears, but I'm actually hesitant to show you that because IEMs for me tend to sound much brighter than, good idea right there, I did a pretty radical curve on that. They tend to sound much brighter than what they really are because the way they fit my ears, I guess I don't get as good of a wet seal in my ear canals as some people do, even though the canals are pretty clean, and I wash my ears as far as the earwax is concerned. But anyway, so they tend to sound bright to me, and I compensate for that. But I'd say compared to all the others out there that I've used, I'd categorize the sound as a very rich sound. I wouldn't call it flat neutral like some of the $1 million headphones, but it's a rather rich sound. Kind of reminds me in a way of when I got a Sennheiser Amperior back around 2013. It had that kind of a sound, a nice rich sound that Sennheiser HD25 series was really famous for. So anyway, it's that general category of a rich, warm sound that I think most people love. It works really, really great outdoors or in portable applications. Now, if you're inside, you might want to use your tone controls a little bit if you need to. It depends on the ear tip fit you get, of course. And but anyway, you know, excellent sound. The thing of it is, what people really want to know when they have a player that has a lot of controls on it, so they can diddle with the sound a little bit. What they really want to know is what's underneath all that. You know, is the detail there? Is there distortion? All that kind of stuff. And the truth is that the sound is extremely clean, highly detailed, great bass detail. So right ingredients are there. I think you're gonna love these things. They're very well made. I don't even know what the price is, but isn't that much? It's a great earphone. Go get it. Thank you very much.